Alright folks, so it's about 2:10 as you can see over here. Spent most of the morning with my wife. I don't really get to spend a whole lot of time with her these days, so I wanted to make sure that I got that time. Sorry, I really shouldn't talk while I'm doing things. I have trouble thinking. Anyway, so I just made a minor adjustment over here just because I wasn't really liking the way it looked. Anywho, like I was saying, I was spending some time with my wife both last night and this morning. She doesn't get to spend a whole lot of time with me because I'm always either working on this or I'm at my day job and what have you. She doesn't really get to spend a whole lot of time with me, so I wanted to make sure that she got that time this morning. Anyway, what we're going to be doing today is I'm going to be putting together the texture map for our new archway. And to be honest, I kind of want to move this forward a little bit. And when I say forward, I mean I'm going to move this top part that way a little bit. There we go, that should be everything up top. We're just going to slide it that way. Sworn I included that. So to prep for this video, I moved our center point back over here to the Z and X axis. It should be centered on the Y axis already, so. But I went ahead and I took care of that. That way we're definitely working off the center point, and we don't have anything else to worry about. So now, at the end of the video yesterday, I kind of gave you an idea of what it is we're going to be working with. Hence, all of the fun vertices over here. And what we're going to do is we're really just going to try and map this as best as we can. And this is really a guessing game. But then we end up taking these and we put them all together the way they should be. That's interesting. Not really sure how that works. There we go. That's better. First of all, let's flatten these out so that we have a better idea of what it is we're working with. And we're probably not going to leave it this way. I'm probably going to end up trying to do this one more time. Just want to see if I can't get these to work the way we need to this way. That way we don't have to do it again. So if I had to guess, That's the main pillar. These are both the main pillars, so why are they separating? There we go. Now they're sitting the way they should be. Now I do it that way where we combine the things that go together. Now we're going to get rid of this image in the background because that's not going to be the image that we're using. Flatten out all these lines. And the reason why we want to do that is because even the slightest adjustment on the pixels, believe me when I say it shows up. You end up with weird stretches where you don't want them. So trying to keep them about as even as possible can be a little bit of a pain. But yeah, this is the tedium that I was talking about in previous videos. And in just a second, I'm going to make sure that I'm recording, which I am. Fantastic. Now, I did do a video yesterday. I'm sure that I said this in the last video, which I know I did because I just rewatched that video earlier. I don't know why I'm covering it again, but I did do a video yesterday where I showed the concept process and how that usually works for me and how I do it. And I wanted to show that just for the simple fact that I kind of felt that it needed to be covered. If that makes any sense. Okay. Really? How fascinating. Whoops. Not what I meant to do. And what I'm doing right now is I'm putting the seams back together, if you will, in a way that kind of makes sense. There we go. And while I know that it's not going to make 100% sense, for example, this is unwrapped, so it kind of peels them apart here. I'm going to move that out of my way. I see. So really we're just piecing it back together. Like so. That way we don't wonder later, okay, what's this go to, what's this go to? It's all pretty much going to be in one single piece. So stuff like this, which clearly goes over here, you can just tab and click back into place. And we're going to stretch this out a little bit. So scale on the X, grab X. Oh, and where this is Z and this is X over here, the depth is Y. This is a little different. X is side to side, Y is up and down. There is no depth ratio on here. Not quite sure why, but it's just kind of the way it is. Alright, so there is a piece that goes over there. Where is it? And we can kind of see the little pillar over here. Well, that's not quite where it goes. Just like that. And really, the whole point of this is just to kind of get an idea so that when I'm mapping this later, or when I'm coloring it in later, in Photoshop, we don't have a problem. You almost piece the whole thing together. Almost. We'll stretch that out in a minute. According to this, you go over here too. Just like that. Nope, we're going to leave you like that. That works for me. So I see. So this is our base. This actually goes over there, but I've already combined it. I'm not really liking how this unwrapped anyway. So, I like how this unwrapped, which is okay. I don't like how these unwrap, so we're actually going to unwrap everything from here up and from here down. To do that, we're going to hit A, or A, go over here. I'm going to use the B select tool. It shows me everything that unwrapped from there. We're going to hit U, Smart UV Project. We're going to go with 75.12 and try that. Better. Alright, and what I'm doing right now is I'm just making these easier to see, easier to differentiate between, so that we know that this goes with this. And to better differentiate that, we're going to just grab over here. B. No. Okay, so this actually connects to here, and this is half and half, so that's why I did it the way I did it. So we're going to select this outer edge, hit V, tab, And we see that what ends up happening is it tries to overlay it, so we're just going to leave it. We are, however, going to keep these two together. We're going to shrink them down a bit, because we're going to end up zoomed in about that far. But as long as we can keep the pieces together, we're okay. We're just going to put them in this top corner over here. You are done all by yourself. We are going to rotate you 90 degrees so you're flat. I'm going to put you right over, and we're going to put you over here. And then this one, we're going to put in between them so that I know that this goes in between these. We're going to rotate it 90 degrees. Rotate it another 180 so it's facing the same direction. And there we go. Gonna kind of have our G.I. Joe moment. Because knowing is half the battle. Sorry. Still haven't decided whether or not I should just be as silly as I want to be, or if I should try and be somewhat professional. Never really been good at the whole professional thing. I guess that's why I went into creative arts. I like being able to express myself freely. There we go. There we go. Much better. Alright, cool. So that's that bottom part. Now we are going to select this part here. No, that one. You want horizontal, not vertical. Vertical bad. Vertical selects things that we've already done. Alright, A, scale, grab X, grab Y, scale Y. There we go. Now it's within the border that we want. And see. So these are the ones we did already. We're going to be doing these little things over here in a minute. And the top arch. So to do that, we go back over here to Z. Pull back just a little bit with our zoom. And we're going to want all of that. U, Smart VV. 75.12, and go. Alright, so we have a lot of little pieces. Lots and lots of little pieces. And that's mostly because we have a lot of vertices in here that we don't really need. For the most part. Some of it we need for the curves, like these. But really what it comes down to now is that we have to get all of these to fit within this grid, along with everything else we've already selected. So, how do we do that? Well, it's not going to be easy, let me tell you. I'm afraid of that. I was really afraid of that. Alright, so let's go back over here. We're going to go higher. We're going to go to 80. Yeah, much better. The reason why I say that is because more of what we have over here is connected over here the way it should be. We are, however, going to deselect that one. And put it where it belongs. All by itself. Now, again, we still have all of this over here, and we're going to try and get this in the center here, and then we're going to try and move these into the open spots. And we might have to move some of these around. We still have a lot of negative space to work in, so we're going to try it that way. Now, this piece right here is already connected to one of the things it should be. We're going to double check the recording again in just a minute, because I don't want to end up with only audio after all this work. And I can still see it, so we're good. We are, however, going to try and connect this now. Up. There it is right there. So now we have our jade arch. Tab. Right where it goes. Perfect. So now it's just a small matter. It's a tedious matter, but it's a small matter. Nope, don't want that. We want this piece here. See, that's where it's connected to here. So these two go there. We don't want it to connect that way. So we're just going to have to grab, rotate 90, rotate 180, whoop, and just kind of slide it over down here. And that's just to make my life easier later. Really all it is. Ah, we're missing a piece there. It's probably over one of these. Not sure which one. There it is. Keep hitting tab to try and get out of that. I'm really not supposed to, I guess. Alright, so we're coming up with a lot more negative space. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just flatten these out. It's really not recommended though. First of all, now remember, I wasn't kidding about the tedium. There was a lot of it when you do this kind of work. Let's see where you go. Aha! So if we put you over here, yep, there she is. You did kind of connect funny there. Not quite sure why I decided to go that way, but we'll learn to deal. Why it decided to fold that way, I'm not really sure, but doesn't really matter. It kind of does what it wants to do. Yep, it's just the one edge. Cool. Alright, so now we're going to move this because we have all those vertices already assigned to this corner. We're just going to grab Y and we're just going to drag her down. Again, we're not going to be this far out. There we go. And what I did was I rotated that 270 degrees so that they kind of face the way that they're supposed to. First things first. Scale X, too far, grab X, drag, scale X, scale Y, there we go. Now we have some distinction there. Alright, now we're going to shrink it just a little bit. Scale Y. Okay. So now you see kind of what it is that we're doing. We're going to flip this, because that'll give us more into the negative space. We're going to move this down here. Rotate 90, grab, drag, Y, drag, up, drag this way, grab Y, drag down. Give us some space there to work with. Grab Y, drag down, X, drag over. Now I'm probably going to have to redo that in just a second, but for now that's going to work. I promise we will get back to the server build soon, and I will start back in there. Didn't like that. Too bad I can't flip this. Yep. So I think what's going to end up happening is this pillar piece that we have here that's overlapping right here, we're going to end up moving this part over to here. Then we're going to move this over to here, but we're going to flatten it out. So to do that, I'm going to do this. Because everything's pretty much where it's going to go. There's not so much overlap that I can't select the individual vertices. Place over here. Rotate 180. Basically, we're just putting it right back where it was before. But since it's the bigger cluster, we're just going to let it be. Don't mess with the system sometimes. Sometimes it knows better where things should go than you do. Okay, so just some minor adjustments over here. I'm going to select this. I'm going to scale it down just a little bit more so that we can fit it in here. We're going to widen it up just a little bit. All right. Not gonna lie, I'm digging it. And we have a UV map. So that's about all there is to that part. With some minor exceptions, we're going to join this area this way. We're going to try and get as close as we can. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be about it, unfortunately. Don't like this being so clustered together. Alright, there we go. So now I'm just going to take a screenshot. Make sure that we still have video. Yep, okay, so screenshot. We're going to open up Paintbrush. Because again, this is where I do all of my cropping and stuff like that. It's also where I do most of my concepts because it's easier for me to work with the shapes. And the little squiggle lines and whatever else you want to call them. Now there is going to be a final UV adjustment when we're all done with this, because once we're done, you'll notice that these UVs don't line up with this image 100%, so we'll just have to place a couple of them back where they go. So we're going to save this as a JPEG. And I'm not going to save over the concept, so I'm just going to name it Decorative Dwarven Arch Part UV. Now, since that's all taken care of, now we get to go to the fun part. Don't mind the concept art in Photoshop. I'm going to open up a JPEG. There it is. You may have noticed a couple of the single textures up there. I'm going to quote the Wizard of Oz for a second and say, don't pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, pay no attention to those files. Alright, so we're going to do the arch on one layer, and I always select a screen layer. It's just kind of the way I do things. I like the screen layer. I'm going to make this the arch. We're going to make this the pillar. So that's going to be this part. Base. Decor. Alright. Whoops. So we're going to redo these two. So I didn't do them as a screen. I always forget something small like that. In this case, I forgot to fill it. Okay, we got it all. We're going to call this layer decor. Screen, fill with neutral color. That's what happens when I get ahead of myself. Wand tool, arch, brush. Whoops. I'm just going to fill this in. I know that this goes to the arch, and everything else for the arch should already be in there. The only reason that we didn't add this to it is because it kept wanting to combine with the base, which we don't want. And we're going to cover the base right here. So no worries there. We are, however, going to deselect this one. Okay, so it doesn't want to deselect there. Alright, fine. It's going to be a pain. Alright, so that's the main pillar. Base. See if we can deselect. Subtract from selection. Subtract from selection. Nope. Subtract from selection. There we go. Alright. Brush. I want to say that that's part of the base. Go back to 3D view, take a look at what it is that we're doing. I really hate that adjustment. You are in texture mode. Let's go back to solid mode. You have a round edge there. I want to say let's take off the view of our mirror modifier for a second. Yep, okay. So that's that. Cool. So this is this part here. Not the ring. This is the ring. Right there. Which is quite odd. you show up in all this? Oh, it unwrapped it. That's interesting. That's not what I told you to do. Well, you probably did. So you're all... Huh, that's fascinating. Alright, cool. Whatever. No biggie. So you're all base? I would have assumed that that was a base piece. That would have come out interesting in the texture. Subtract, 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 subtract. Okay. Go back out, brush. Oh, helps if we switch back over to the white brush because black's not going to show up because of the neutral color fill. And there we go. Okay. I don't know why it was telling me that, but whatever. Not a problem. So I'm going to do the last bit of this on my own. And I say that because, to be honest, I'm kind of protective of my textures and how I do this next part. And I will show you the finished product when we come back. I might do another, I might upload a second video today, I might not. I know that I'm going to be finishing up the texture portion of this while I'm uploading this video, and if I have time, I will go ahead and do another one. I'll see you guys soon. Toodles.